Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to yet another episode of our weekly Hangout. And this time we have got a special guest who's dialing in from the Netherlands. We're going to be speaking with Boon, who's a designer for Phanteks, and discussing all kinds of nifty, great things going on there. Before we get going into that, though, Bill had something special he wanted to say.
Hey, well, we've also got Captain Currysauce.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I cannot forget the curriness.
Hey, yeah, just be careful. You know, curriness can be sometimes too powerful. No.
And if you look at the screen, going back 4 years to 2013, it's myself and Captain Currysauce. We were the very first in the world to reveal a new full tower, a full tower that offered more features than Corsair's flagship 900D and for less money. Holy mud monkey, that was amazing. Now, after this video, we started a friendship of Phanteks that continues to today and allowed us to record the very first interview with Phanteks designer Boon. He's here with us from the Netherlands. Boon, how you doing, man?
I'm very good, thank you. Great to be here.
Oh, it's awesome, and thanks for staying up late so you could join us.
Yeah, it's getting dark now, so.
Now, Boon, the big question is how did you ever get involved with Phanteks?
I think I actually came on board at the right moment because it was shortly after the introduction of the first PE cooler, the CPU cooler, the TC14P, if you can recall. And at the time, the company was looking for like new ways to expand their portfolio. So through a friend of mine, I got in touch with the Phanteks company right after my graduation, and I got a job offered to design the whole new lineup of the new cases. So that was a very good opportunity and a perfect match for me.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, okay, so Phanteks is your first official career job?
Yes, my first project was the Luxe Primo.
Holy cow, that was the case that we saw. And Captain, remember that day when we first unboxed that thing, and we had seen the 900D in person already, so we knew that what you guys were up against, and you were a market for full towers that was dominated by Corsair, and then you're this guy that comes out of nowhere that was just making CPU coolers and cooling fans, and you launched this new full tower case as your first case. Captain, remember when we opened it up and we're just like, holy cow.
It was impressive, and I remember, I'm pretty sure you remember too, I had the 900D on pre-order for the longest time, but that never worked out because it never shipped at the time. And yeah, I mean, the case just, you know, the quality, the finish, the aluminum panels on it, it was like, whoa, you can get this kind of quality and features at this price. That was kind of mind-blowing.
Yeah, and I think another thing was, as far as that we're aware, it was the first case to actually have reservoir mounting, a bracket to mount reservoirs in, which never seen before in the industry. Is that right, Boon?
Yeah, that's right. We actually wanted to make the jump into custom water cooling, the entry level, a bit easier for people. So we tried to aid people with a lot of ideas like pre-drilled mountings for the reservoirs, like you mentioned, or separate brackets to install your radiator out of the case and have it installed more easily. So yeah, those were the focus points for us to launch this first case.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the questions I have was, I know when we did the video, one of the things we talked about was, what does Luxe Primo mean? So is there a meaning behind it, or was it just...
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a meaning behind it. The Enthu is actually like a short form for enthusiast. So the enthusiast line, that's where it came from. And Primo is the name we chose for the best, the prime. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because our guess was enthusiast first.
Yeah, okay, that's good.
That's what we came up with.
That's just delivered.
Wow, we figured it out, man.
Yes.
Yes. Boon, we could kind of tell, like when we were looking at the design of the case, right away we could tell whoever did it, even though we didn't even know who you were, they got like PC liquid cooling. They were somebody that was actually doing their own liquid cooling. Is that true? Were you building liquid cooled systems on your own?
No, that's not true. We weren't doing. Oh, you mean during the development? Yes, yes, yes. I mean, when we were developing the cases, we had to make sure that it actually works as we want them to work. So we were building the whole systems by ourselves, doing the custom loops, everything to make sure everything fits.
You know,
Nice.
and when I'm watching this video again, Captain, do you remember like what was the one thing that really piqued everybody's interest about it? It was that one thing.
I think it was one of the first cases where they had the power supply mounted differently and created so much room. You know, you didn't have, I think this case started the true trend of having a basement or a shroud, PSU shroud, if you ask me. Because I don't think I can remember a case before this that had a true PSU shroud. And because of the way the PSU was placed, you know, you could have a 480 monster radiator fit without any issues.
I think that was it right there, man. That segment in the video, and I'll play it again, was mind blowing. The largest 480 PC radiator on the market is just like, oh, I'm right at home in here. Plenty of room.
Here's a little funny story from this year CES. When we went to Alpha Cool's suite, you know, they're talking and the guy's telling me about the monster radiators, and I go, I actually own a 480, and he goes, really? Where can you possibly use it? Rocky goes, whoa, this looks right at home. Because even they were like, I don't think Monster truly fits anywhere.
Any else? A Case Labs.
Yes.
Yeah. That's funny. Now the thing this year, speaking of CES, Phanteks announced that Elite. More details about your Elite full tower case, which is just mind blowing. Now, my personal reaction to you guys making the Elite, which is really an exclusive case, and you can see in the video here the Enthu Primo compared to the 900D in the size difference, is that I think the Elite, to me, when I see you guys announce that, is that you're kind of showing off like, hey, world, we've got the capabilities to make the most badass full tower, retail full tower on the market right now. And you're going into it thinking, well, we're not going to make a lot of them. We're going to do a limited run, but this is kind of like a special run for enthusiasts who really appreciate all the details and engineering that we're putting into it. So it's not for your mainstream consumer. It's like, it's kind of like a celebration of how well you guys are doing right now. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, that's actually kind of the reason why we wanted to have this on the market, because we wanted to show where we are today and what we were capable of. And you can really tell from the beginning, since the Primo, how everything has come together. In this case, you see things from the EVOLV, you see things from the Pro-Am, from the Primo. And it was really about offering something very special and exclusive, and giving the best experience for the enthusiast users out there.
Yeah. Jesse, you got to see it in person while at CES. What'd you think of it?
You know, the best way I describe it, that case, is the Ford GT. It's just designed, you know, like, or Formula One cars. They're not road cars. They're not meant for every day. But that's just to show off what a company is capable of. And it is, pictures do not do it justice. And I've kind of felt that way for almost all of their cases so far, that pictures do not do it justice. You look at the case in person, it's quality. It's cannot be, pictures do not capture it well. But it is, like, the first time we saw it last year, what really blew us apart was how the tempered glass, you know, has vents in the middle. And to me, it was like, whoa, that has to require, from a production standpoint of view, you know, has to be a lot of work. And I know a lot of people were complaining about, well, it's too expensive. And my thing was, well, if you compare it to an N-Win, like an H tower, the small one, not the one that opens up, that's $1,100. Yeah, it comes with a platinum power supply. Take 200, 300 off. You're at the same price point, and the Elite is just completely something else. There's nothing in the market like that.
No.
I mean, in terms of size comparison, you couldn't bring in a Case Labs, but again, it's kind of like a dump truck versus, something beautifully designed. I mean, yes, they're both functional, and I'm not putting Case Labs down here. It's just nice to see Phanteks come out and say, you know what, we can produce cases that are $70, $90 to $900.
And the current retail or the release price is going to be, was it $799? Was that it?
$899.
Oh, $899. Okay, Boon. And it's all aluminum construction.
No, only the exterior. So the whole exterior is made by 4 millimeter thick aluminum and tempered glass, and we chose for steel plates for the interior chassis.
Okay. Mm-hmm. When I saw this the first time, what I thought was that you're a fan of Murder Mods or Xforma, their designs, what they do. Is that true?
Can you repeat that?
Have you ever heard of Murder Mods?
I think you mean the Murder Box cases? Yeah. Murder Mod. Yeah.
Yep, and they became Xforma. The business had sold and changed their name to Xforma.
Ah, that's right. That's why. Okay.
But
Yeah,
you're a fan of those designs?
I do like them. Yes.
Yeah. Very stylish, minimalistic, with the best materials possible.
Mm-hmm.
True enthusiast grade stuff. And this isn't for everybody. It's somebody that really appreciates the engineering and construction, of nice stuff. And I'm sure that Phanteks realizes that this is a very niche crowd that's going to buy this.
Yeah, that's right. It's going to be niche, but like how we develop other products before, what you can see, like the Enthul Luxe, it's sharing a similar chassis as the Enthul Pro. Mm-hmm. So we are trying to find ways how to use certain aspects what we use, like in tooling, and bring that to other products later on. So that way we can make this work actually, and still it's like like the Luxe Primo. When we first started, we showed something really high and premium, and those developments and ideas were carried on to the other products that followed later on. And this is going to be a similar strategy, actually.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so we may see little elements of the Elite in future products then.
Yeah, I believe so. That's how we have been working until now, and that's how we will keep going with how we develop our products.
I think what you're doing, and Captain will agree with this, is you guys are investing the R&D into that flagship full tower case for a niche enthusiast market that's really into water cooling,
Yep.
where we're seeing the other manufacturers aren't doing that anymore. I mean, Cooler Master hasn't done a new Cosmos. People have wanted that. Corsair hasn't done a new full tower. Nobody else has done a new full tower. But you guys are like, this is what we're going to do. We're going to show, because you understand that a flagship tower can really illustrate what your capabilities are for things. And just the other manufacturers aren't doing that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And why do you think that is, Boon?
Actually, I'm not sure. I think some companies are still trying to do some flagship products like InWin.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But I agree. Some other brands, they are showing less of these kind of products nowadays, and maybe it has to do with how much time it goes into developing such a product.
Yeah, well, I think that's really, it's a reflection of Phanteks having you as the designer. In my eyes, you're a rock star for this industry.
Oh yeah.
I mean, yeah, it sounds silly, but it's true though. Corsair doesn't have a Rockstar designer. Cooler Master doesn't. Fractal Design doesn't. And they understand that you've got a talent here that's very unique, and so they're going to capitalize on it and invest in it. And that's why you're here today with us, because we appreciate what you're doing. You know, I mean, okay. One thing I've noticed over this last year, and that's why I've got it up on the screen, is the EVOLV ATX seems to be like your most popular case right now, at least from where I'm sitting. It seems a lot of people are buying it and loving it.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite design as well.
Yeah, and go ahead.
Yeah, and I think we do feel that the market, our users are loving it too. That's why we have a lot of iterations from the EVOLV, because it started with the micro ATX EVOLV, and then we came up with the ITX and the ATX. So yeah, that's how we started it.
And Captain, you did a build with one. Was it like the first hardline build?
I'm not sure if it was the first hardline build, but I'm pretty sure it was the first hardline build in the tempered glass one. And, you know, I mean, that's one of the things, at least we tried to do with our reviews. Try to put in a, wait, where is it?
I'm pulling it up.
There. Oh, okay. I was doing the same.
You did the EVOLV ITX.
Yeah.
That was an all-in-one. I know you did a Phanteks hardline build about a year ago, though.
The Luxe was the last one I did with the hardline.
Glass.
Yep, the Luxe tempered glass, and then the EVOLV ATX tempered glass. That one was there, so I mean, you guys want to see it?
What do you like about the EVOLV?
You know, to me, it's one of those cases where it's just the perfect size and it fits the perfect amount of hardware. I mean, in this build, I have 2 hard drives, regular hard drives. I have like 2 4-terabyte hard drives. I have a couple SSDs in the back. I have 2 970s in this build, but they could be a 1080, whatever. You know, X99 board and enough cooling, enthusiast grade cooling to keep everything nice and cool. And you are in a nice package that just looks beautiful. And I know a lot of people, I mean, you have the ability to go all in one if that's what you want, you know, or you can just go full bore and just do something unique.
Yeah. And I remember when the first time I saw it, what impressed me was how easily all of the exterior panels were individually removable by popping on and off. There was toolless, no screws needed.
That was true for the MATX, but the ATX and the ITX didn't have that. Because when you try to go to lift the case from the top.
Oh, yeah. The top panel comes off. Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that was a feedback we took very seriously. So that's why you could see the changes immediately in the other products. Yeah.
That's another thing that separates you guys from your competitors, is that you do listen to user feedback all the time.
Yeah, that's correct. I think that's very important, and also one of the things that's really drives us as well. So feedback is very important.
Yeah, anybody that's in the chat, if you've got questions for Boon, please post them in the chat, and let us know if you already have a Phanteks case or you're considering one, and which model. You've got a great opportunity to actually talk to the designer today. Boon, let me ask you, what was the most challenging case design you've done so far for Phanteks?
I think, well, there are actually 2 cases I find very challenging. The first one, I would say the Elite, of course, because that's one of the most complex cases we've ever built. There are so many modularities and flexibility that goes into it. So we had to make sure every single detail is worked out and designed right to match the position where we want the product to be, because it really had to be the best of the best we could offer for enthusiasts. And for the second most challenging case, I would say the Eclipse P400, because that's kind of the opposite. I found it challenging to make a very good product, very functional one, and still looking unique while keeping the production costs relatively low. And yeah, we had a lot of creative designing and engineering to make that happen, actually. So those are the two most challenging cases.
Is there an existing design that you would want to redo?
I think the Anthu Primo just came into my mind because, well, if I look at it, you showed me the video that's like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And that's the first case we ever made, and so much has happened, so many changes and developments. So I think it would be very interesting if we were to redesign that case today. But yeah, on the other hand, the case is still a very the Primo is still a very strong product in the current market. So
It is.
who knows? We might be doing this in the near future.
Bring it back, like Son of Primo.
Right. Yeah, Son of Primo.
You know what I love about the Primo. Oh, here's another thing about the Primo that was awesome is the optical drive bay shroud. That shroud right there with your, and that's where you decided to put your case badge right there. That was unique. Nobody else had done that before. And the fact that that shroud is screwed in place, so if somebody wanted to put a large radiator in the front, they can easily take it out.
Yeah,
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that a lot. I'm often, it was a few years ago that we started making full-size clear acrylic side panels for the Enthu Primo, and we did two different variations. A variation where you could have that 5 1/4 bay in there, that plate, or you could take it out entirely. And still today, we still sell those. Now, there was a rumor that Phanteks may not make the Primo anymore.
That's not true. We're still making them still today.
Are you still gonna? So production does continue. Okay.
It's continuing. Yes.
All right, that's good because there's a lot of Primo fans out there that I still hear from often, all the time. Boon, let me ask you this, and I hate these questions because I remember with being in job interviews and being asked this. Bill, where do you see yourself 10 years from now? Boon, where do you see Phanteks 10 years from now?
there you go. You did it now, Bill.
Yep. Looks like we have a Hangout conundrum.
What happened?
I'm back.
Oh, okay.
Something happened.
Oh, that's
Sorry.
no problem.
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, no problem. Boon, where do you see Phanteks 10 years from now?
Oh, that's a difficult question, I think, because so many things is happening right now, and the market is changing on a fast pace. So it would be very difficult to say what's going to happen in 10 years, but because I can say we are trying to keep coming with new things every year. Every year we are, we are developing stuff based on also the changing trends. And I'm sure in 10 years time, we will have a very big portfolio with a lot of cool things.
Mm-hmm. Now, it was at Computex in 2016 that you first announced that you were going to release some liquid cooling component parts. And then at CES, you had shown a compression fitting.
Yes, we decided to make to introduce a line in the water cooling products. And I think the goal where we want to be eventually is to provide this total solution for custom water cooling that are easy to work with, easier than it's currently, and that it blends in with cases very well. And we believe as a newcomer right now in this field, it's important to come up and bring in new meaningful ideas and also keep differentiating from competitors. Yeah, so I cannot say too much about it, but we are going to expand the line, what we have shown on CES or Computex, because we're going to start off with the first launch for fittings, water blocks for CPU and GPU.
Wow.
And there might be more to come.
Oh, that's awesome. So you heard it, folks, is that we're going to be looking at Phanteks GPU water blocks, CPU water blocks, fittings. That's what Boon has revealed so far. And it sounds like they may even expand upon that even more. So when you order that Phanteks new tower, you can get all Phanteks liquid cooling components as well, which would be really, really cool because you have a high standard for design and you can appreciate stuff that just works. Now, the fittings, or the fitting that you showed at CES, that was just a hardline fitting, right?
We actually have hardline and soft tubings. So they will come in two. There will be two sizes for the hardline and the two sizes for the soft tubings.
Oh, that's great. Is there a particular brand of liquid cooling products that you like right now? Like, are you a fan of Bits Power or Aqua Computer or XSPC? Anybody that you like?
I think Bits Power fittings are very cool.
Yeah.
Good quality.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this brand called Heat Killer.
Yeah, yep. Germany. Yeah,
those are very cool too. Yeah,
yeah. They're going to be a guest in a future hangout.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah. There's a lot of people that really like the Heat Killer stuff, and it looks it's a lot like Aqua Computer. Very minimalistic, purpose-built styling, clean designs. Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. I was just checking the chat here, and we've got some Phanteks fans in here that have some cases. Let's see.
A lot of P400.
Yeah, the P400. What is the P400 retail? What is that, like $80?
80.
Yeah.
It depends. We have silent versions, non-silent versions, tempered glass versions. So depending on that, it starts from 70, 80, and it can reach to 80, 90. Yeah.
Now, here in the States, people can get Phanteks at, is it just Newegg or is there other sources as well?
We also have them on Amazon.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Primum.
Primum, yes.
Yeah.
Is Boon, do you think there'd ever be a possibility that Phanteks may have like a factory direct store?
Yeah, it could be in the future, but right now we work with for outside US, we work with partners in distribution, and for US currently it's still going to be mainly Newegg and Amazon.
Mm-hmm. We had a question from Graham and Moss, and they're thinking about modding their Phanteks case, and they're curious that if you would have any plans to sell replacement parts like front panels or side panels anywhere online for people that want to modify the parts.
Right. Yeah, actually we have a dedicated customer service team based in US and also in Europe, of course, to make sure everybody's helped in a short time if they ever experience problems. So for replacement parts, for modding, I would say try to contact our customer service, and I'm sure they will be able to help you if they have the stuff you need and if it's within their reach.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I've noticed that correspondence with them has always been really good, where I've gotten an answer within 24 hours. And Phanteks has a community forum through their website that you can join as well and post questions. Yeah, there's an individual from the Mod Zoo that's been very active. I'll have to pull up his name, and a great supporter of Phanteks, and he's been in all the communities answering questions for you guys.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I'll pull up his screen name before we end, so he can get a nice shout out. This is another question. Does Phanteks plan on jumping into the mech deck world and offering something interesting? This is from EO Ambience, and what he means is mechanical keyboards. Could we see one from Phanteks?
Okay. I don't think we have that on the roadmap at the moment, and it's not something what we are focusing on right now. So I don't think so.
Right, understood. We've got another question here in the chat from Petras. It says, although I have my Primo modded to be fully RGB, any plans on Primo with RGB Aura support?
Yes, this is something that we are currently discussing because we are thinking to do like an upgrade for the Primo because all cases are RGB right now. And yeah, we might be coming up with the module to replace that actually for RGB support.
Cool. Let's see here. Jesse, did you have any questions for Boon?
Me?
Yeah.
I have a lot of questions. He'll probably run away.
Go ahead, man. Let's see.
Actually, I was gonna ask you. So, other than Phanteks, if you were to pick a case, cannot be a Phanteks case.
Oh,
What case would you use for your own build?
Don't say Antec. Don't say Antec.
so it can be any case besides
Phanteks, yes.
Okay, so I think I would go with the S frame from Inwin.
Oh,
Because I really like the beauty in the engineering of that case and can appreciate the spirit and how the case is different than all others. And if I would build a case, it wouldn't be a very massive case with a lot of radiators. So yeah, I think that would be very cool.
Nice.
Well, that's really the S frame is more of like a sculpture art piece, isn't it, than a computer case?
Yeah,
It
it
is.
is.
Boon, I can only imagine that when you want to kind of take a break from the designs for retail and that, do you go in there and kind of play around with ideas like an S frame, just kind of something that breaks all the rules in a PC design?
Yeah, we do have a lot of discussions on how to do things differently, and I actually get a lot of inspiration from different industries as well. So besides the gaming industry, and those are things that we really try to apply to gaming chassis. So we like the last case we introduced at CES, which was named the Project 217. I think that's an example of how we're trying to do something really different and breaking some rules of how an ITX case should be.
Oh, Jesse, you had seen that. What did you think of it? And that was just the prototype.
Yes, that was the prototype. I think that's taking the elite style of quality and build and creating something for the living room that looks like an art piece.
I suppose. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And that's just that's an ITX platform?
Yes, that's correct.
Would you ever, Boon, are you a big fan of science fiction movies?
Yes, some of them.
Mm-hmm.
Which one?
Well, like what do you like? What is some of your favorite sci-fi movies? Because when I saw that, I kind of thought of something that would be like on the deck in Star Trek or something.
Real gun.
Yeah, I watch Star Trek, Star Wars, and it could be that, not that I'm aware of it, but it could be that I got influence from those stuff. Yeah, could be.
What else influences you?
I think a lot of product innovations in the world, like in architecture, in I don't know, furniture, everything could be an influence on how I design the products actually.
How much time do you spend, like, for example, the Elite, how many hours, like a rough estimate, how many hours you spent designing that?
Oh, I didn't count the hours actually.
No, you don't. I know sometimes you don't want to count the hours.
No, but I know we've been working on that, I think almost 2 years, starting from researching the market, also developing all the details. Yeah, that takes a lot of time, and I think it's hello.
Yep.
Oh, you're still there. Yeah. So I think it's about 50% research and designing, and another 50% would be making sure it's able to be produced and having the quality control on the level we want.
Mm-hmm. If you were to have, like, if you were to build a new system for yourself, would it be with the Elite or a different Phanteks case or somebody else's case?
Well, actually, I'm really looking forward to the project 217 because that's kind of a personal design for me as well, and I'm looking forward to building a case in that one, building a system in that one.
Do you think that we'll find out more details about it at Computex?
Yes, I think that's the goal. That's the target. We will try to make it ready just before Computex, we hope, and I'm sure during Computex we have got more to show.
Nice.
Cool. Go ahead.
So sounds like you like smaller ITX-based systems compared to big systems for personal use.
Yeah, for me, for my personal use, I would go with smaller systems because I think I don't have much time anymore to do a lot of gaming and modding and building since I joined Phanteks. So that would go right in my living room.
Yeah.
Okay.
What was your favorite game before you joined Phanteks?
Well, at the time I was playing a lot of World of Warcraft.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And after Phanteks, I've been playing a lot less, actually. Too bad.
Yeah, they're keeping you busy. I mean,
yeah.
Since that video that we did, we've watched Phanteks grow in popularity from where you guys were like just doing a pre-order through your website for a new tower, now to the point where Newegg stocks all your towers, and we're seeing builds posted all over the internet now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's really cool to see because before when we started, we couldn't imagine how it would be in the end, of course, because we just started the first case and wanted to build up the brand, starting from the coolest actually. And if we can see how much is online right now and how much people are enjoying the case, it's really very, very satisfying.
Yeah, it is. And again, Phanteks does have a community forum that everyone is welcome to join, and you can post questions about the product, or you can also share work logs with your Phanteks cases. And the individual that we were alluding to earlier, his name is Doyle.
Yes.
Doyll, Doyle, and he's in the UK, and he is a huge supporter of Phanteks. Even before Phanteks had made the Enthu Primo Tower, he was a big supporter of your products, and he still continues today. He started, I know, a user group for Phanteks on overclock.net that he moderates.
Yeah.
So, Boon, you may want to send him a freebie once in a while.
That would be a very good one. Actually, I have contacted him. We have some discussions now and then because he is a very, very good support guy who can also give us a lot of feedback because he is in the forum a lot and in the community. Yeah. So now and then we do have some communication, and that's really good, very good.
Nice.
Yeah, I haven't checked on the chat. If any of you guys have checked the chat for any questions in there. Let's see. Martin, the S-frame is amazing. Yes, it is. And isn't like the S-frame, that's fairly expensive too. Is it like
$1,100?
$1,100.
Yeah.
Yeah. One Jet DOK. I got quick response and replacement front panel for my white Primo from Phanteks customer service. That's good.
Oh God, the RGB stuff.
Yeah, Boon, what is your thoughts about all the RGB that's everywhere now?
Yeah, I think that's something that's really everywhere right now, and it is important that despite being RGB, I think the user experience is very important. So, for instance, if you have a whole system, you have a lot of components, I think it's important that you can control easily and have everything sync together instead of having a control for every single hardware. And that's also something we're trying to achieve by synchronizing all the stuff we're bringing out, the cases, the water blocks with RGB, that they can be synchronized all together and can be linked to your motherboard, because the motherboard is the main hardware that you will be having. So using software in your motherboard, controlling all the other parts is, I think, the way to go.
Okay, sure. Lighthawk000 asks, any plans to shrink down the Elite design to a $180 or $250 full tower, something that's in between the Luxe and the Primo size?
I think that's going to be a very tough job, because if you look at the Elite, the way it looks is also because of the material thickness, and how it's all put together. So if you would have shrink it down just by size, we won't be able to reach that price point.
No,
unless you use very thin plastic parts, and I don't think that's the way we should we should introduce the new product.
No, I mean, the Elite is really a reflection of like the best, right?
Yeah.
And so to kind of like cheapen it down, it's not really the intent of what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, but I think we will look into aspects and features and design aspects, and see how we can bring it to the other products later, like Primo, Son of Primo, maybe, or.
Yeah,
I think
Son of Primo.
That's something that we will be looking into for sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like Jesse was saying, there's a lot of P400 people in the chat. Jesse, you did a P400, right? Build and review?
Yes. I actually helped Graham with the custom loop in that one.
Oh, so that was Graham's case. Okay.
Yeah, and it was B to get the loop in that one, because I mean that's a case that I feel is not designed for custom loops. It's designed, you get an AIO, you mount it in the front, you call it a day. It's for your basic builder. It's not for an enthusiast, but since you know how we are, we have to go crazy with it. So
so you did a hardline build in it, or was it flex tubing?
Oh, no,
okay.
Hardline. So if you don't mind, I'm gonna share my screen. So
sure.
There you go. So that was the build we did. We just cooled the CPU in that one. We had just a single 240 in the front. But it was just one of those things. I wanted to do it just because Graham was like, nope, we can't do it. I'm like, that's it. I'm going to do it.
Yeah, the challenge. We like to be challenged, right?
Yes. And if you ask me, I think this build came out nice too, because we did not lose any storage space, unless somebody plans to, put drives in the front, top front, which we didn't. So again, there's no loss of storage. You have your SSDs in the back, you get your storage in the bottom, and you could do a custom loop if you wanted to, or just use a all-in-one cooler.
Yeah. Yep. And there are those all-in-one cooler days, right, where you're just like, I just don't have the time. So, what's the quickest solution? Boon, you've noticed that a lot of the manufacturers now have their own line of all-in-one coolers. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think that's very logical, because that is the trend right now. But I think for Phanteks, it's maybe not the way we want to go, because it's going to be difficult to differentiate yourself from your competitors, and that's one of the most important factors for us to create a new product. We got to be different, and if you do all-in-one, you are working with the OEM manufacturer, where you cannot change so much on the internal design. So that kind of limits the creativity and the ideas we want to bring into water cooling.
Right. Yep. You guys are definitely, you've got the DIY PC liquid cooling community as a fan base, and you've built you're answering a niche market, and so why become sort of generic like the other manufacturers are, and just here's our all-in-one cooler as well. It looks just like theirs, but it's got a different logo and a little bit different type of tubing on it. It's
and the RGB is slightly a different shade.
Yeah. E. Pearson in the chat says, how can I get a replacement side panel for my Phanteks Pro M tempered glass? Does that mean that they may have dropped their glass, or they're swapping out to tempered glass? I don't know. Let us know, E. Pearson. Why do you need a new side panel? Did you break your tempered glass one? Did it shatter into bazillion little pieces? when you dropped it, or
or did you do the naughty with the case?
the naughty?
Yeah.
Can you
Talking
demonstrate
about
what that is?
on the Hangouts, for real. Actually, talking about dropping cases. So when I was working on the Luxe build, so I put all the hardware in, and I'm getting my test fits done, and I'm about to fire up the system to test the hardware before I put the blocks on. So I'm taking it off the bench, and the whole case slips out of my hand with
Wow.
all the hardware in it, and I catch I caught the case with my feet.
Oh,
It hurt for a while.
How's your feet?
That's fine. Nothing,
Oh.
bruises, but I was like, oh boy. But thankfully, I did not have the glass panel on or the rear panel on, so there was no damage. And I think you mentioned in my review too that the case kind of passes a small drop test.
Actually, tempered glass is pretty strong, if I have to say, because if you drop it, there's not a big chance that it will break immediately unless it really hits the corners or the edge.
Yeah.
And else it stays like very strong panel. You can stand on it, no problem.
Right. Yeah. Oh, I'm constantly asked if we would do tempered glass versions of our side panels, and we just don't have the resources to do that. E. Pearson said that the glass was broken at a computer show. So what I would do is just go to Phanteks site and contact their customer service. They're really great about responding. Give them at least 24 hours and see what they can do to help you out. Ysidro says the Phanteks is a great looking case with a lot of features. I just wish I had the cash to own one. I've worked with the Phanteks Luxe and the Phanteks Pro, and my favorite's probably the Luxe because of the built-in RGB lighting. It was like one of the first cases to have built-in RGB lighting before the whole craze exploded.
I think so too. Yeah, we were one of the first.
Yeah, and then what you could do is it already had it built into the trim on the outside with a switch to control the colors, and then you could buy extra strips as accessories to do the internal. So, yeah, you guys were already ahead of the curve on that.
Yeah, and even now you can buy an adapter to connect all the strips in the Luxe to your motherboard and have it controlled by your motherboard through software. Yep.
Andres de Groot, P400 too small, Elite too big, and the Primo I hate drive bays. But Andres, you can remove the drive bays if you don't like them. That's what's cool about it. Please make a Primo size case, but without the drive bays. Well, you can just remove them.
Here's what I would say. Actually, I kind of agree with him in a way that I would love to see an EVOLV full tower.
Ooh.
Yes, it'll be, I don't know, grandson of Primo, something like that. Because I love the EVOLV look. It's just, like, if you have a nice hardware, if you have nice monitors, keyboard, mice on a nice desk, I feel there's very few cases that complement the decor in the house. So EVOLV is a case that, just looks, nice. And I would love to see not the actual size of the Primo, but like maybe slightly bigger, maybe like, EVOLV ATX E enthusiast with vented top and front panels, so we don't have to remove them. And
I gotta agree with Captain Currysauce is that an EVOLV full tower would be really cool. And I'd imagine, Boon, that you've seen an increase in sales of the EVOLV over the last year.
Yeah, that's very true. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
we are also getting a lot of response as well with the same question that you guys just asked, asking for bigger EVOLV ATX. So yeah, definitely have got that noted.
Awesome. CES 2018. Not just kidding.
That's right. Tell the story, Captain Curry, when you first met Boon and his crew at CES.
Oh, okay. So I think the funniest part was, so we were going to meet with NZXT at ARIA, So we pull right behind the car, and we get out of the car, and these bunch of guys come out, and they're looking at us weird, and I'm like talking to Greg, Stu, and Allison, like, okay, those guys are creeping me out. And then I recognize Boon from the video, and I go, hey guys, I think that's Boon. And then he looks at me, he goes, hey, Jesse, Captain Currysauce. I'm like, oh yeah. So it was kind of funny, and then we were late for our appointment with NCXG because we just stood outside for about 15-20 minutes and chatted. So that was, and then Greg was just kind of like, geez, exactly what Jesse needed, people recognizing him on the streets. So so that was fun. I don't think it has anything to do with big orange bright shirts with big Mod2 logos on them. Pretty sure it has nothing to do with it. So,
all right, check this out. I had seen a glimpse of this a while back, and Biker Tom brings this up in the chat. What is your thoughts on this 8-pack Orion XPC? Here is 24,000 pounds, which is what? Isn't that close to like $50,000 in US? Or
30 something, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Boon, what's the story on this thing? Do you know?
Yes, we've been collaborating with this APAC company. Actually, it's a guy who is very passionate in overclocking, and I think it's a very great opportunity to have him make his system in the N3 Elite, because you can really see he utilizes all the space that's there and doing some really nice stuff in there, making tree loops.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm amazed by the system.
Ian, right?
Ian from
Yeah.
APAC, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is something that you can order?
Yes. Or you could just find something like this in a hotel lobby.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Well,
Yeah, we ran into Ian while we were leaving Phanteks. So
okay, so I'm under the impression this is the first one he's built, and he's like, hey, if anybody else wants me to build one, this just, it's what, 30 something thousand dollars with a system installed. Hello?
yes.
Yes, you're still there. Yes, I heard him saying he wanted to put like 3 Titanics in there and another one on the ITX board. So it's really amazing, really out of the world.
Yeah. It's gonna ship overclocked like hell out of the factory.
Okay, so is this like would this be the first official custom build that was done with a Phanteks Elite tower?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
It was actually, we showed it last year, Computex. That's when he announced it together with us.
Okay.
And now it's available, and so is the Elite.
Wow. Well, my thoughts on this is, everybody watching, build it yourself. Just build it yourself. Do your own version. I think when you get into stuff like this really exclusive builds, this is for a very, very small niche of consumer out there. And we're really a DIY audience. So we do have some new guests in the chat, though, but we look at things from the Mod Monkey perspective. How could I build this myself and cater to more of my tastes?
Yes.
And, so you can go to themodzoo.com and check out our project work logs. We've got lots of really cool builds in there. And yeah, so that's my thoughts on that.
Talking about mods, I'm holding a panel from an EVOLV.
Oh, wow.
Changed up. So there's some, I've been working on something. So yeah.
Oh, wait, I missed that. Hold it up again.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, so.
It's all about more air.
Yes, so I'm actually working on, I've been designing it myself, and I kind of suck at that. So I'm trying to do a custom front and top vents with some designs on it. So something like
Ysidro says in response to that 8-pack, I love to build and weld aluminum designs myself. Envious Mods, Callan, who's been a previous guest, I could build a lot of epic PCs for $30,000. Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of it. We got a lot of DIYers in our chat that.
Yes.
But here's the thing, though. There is a consumer that will buy that 8-pack.
Oh, yeah.
They're out there. It's just a matter of them finding it. It's somebody that I don't have the time to build a system, but I can appreciate what's been done, and I got the money. You know, I'm not married. I've got a killer job as a programmer or a doctor or a lawyer, and I don't have kids.
And I think I have the time to game, but I don't.
Yep. I want something to make all my friends jealous and envious when they come over to my my large palatial suite in the top of a building downtown. So that's cool. So we got just a couple more minutes here. If anybody has the last minute questions, we can try to get to them with Boon before we go. Just put them up in the chat. But Boon, thanks again for staying up late with us and doing this hangout. Again, you really are a rock star to this industry when it comes to PC case design.
Thank you, man. It's a real pleasure to be here, and it was how to say, a great experience. Also, have been working with you guys since the beginning, and yeah, I'm really glad that I could be here tonight.
Right on. Oh, we got Mosquito dropped in the chat. He says a $30,000 budget would finish my shop and build me a nice new desktop. Spartan Mods, I could buy 3 houses for $30,000.
You might not want to live in them.
Yeah, they'll probably be fixer-uppers.
Yeah.
HUD homes.
I was gonna say I could buy cars for 30 grand, and they kind of are water cooled. So, does that count as a custom loop?
I could buy several cars for $3,000.
I know.
Boon, where can everybody find Phanteks, like to see what your latest announcements are and stuff like that?
Well, please follow us on the Facebook page because we'll be actively posting a lot of updates there, and the website.
Okay. You also have a YouTube channel too, right?
Yes, we do. The YouTube channel for all the product videos, and I think it's a very useful video for the ones who are doing some custom builds, because we show a lot of possibilities how to do builds in those cases. So if you have the time, go check it out.
Right on. Cool. Everybody that's in the chat, thanks for joining us today. Yes, we did start an hour earlier than usual because of Boon. He's in the Netherlands, and it's late there, and so we wanted to try to accommodate him more. But please like our video, share, and get the word out about the Modzu Hangout, because we want to get more guests that are cool like Boon. This is his very first interview, as far as I know, and he just was kind enough to take time out of his personal schedule to hang with us. And I hope that we can get more people from the industry into the Modzu Hangout to hang out with us. So yes. I'd say we're out, guys, unless you got anything else in closing.
No, well, I kind of would like to throw the nugget out that even though I'm very much in the minority, I want to have more hard drives in my cases, man. As many 3.5-inch hard drives as you can possibly fit into the space. That would be great.
You're a RAID guru. You're a RAID.
Deluxe. And Deluxe. That's my answer.
Actually, no, Jim. The Enthulux is actually kind of small for the amount of drives that I've got.
Because you could drop in, one of those icy docks too if you wanted more space, I guess.
And that's what I'm going to end up doing is an icy dock up front, 4 drives down below, and that with my boot drives almost takes up all of the available drive space.
Because you got 6 there in the bottom, so.
Yep.
Wow, nice.
All right.
Oh yeah, I play large with my media storage.
Hey, there's this thing called the internet. Have you tried it?
Or the cloud.
I live in a state with spotty internet, okay? So I'm going to echo Bill. Thank you very much for coming and joining. It was fantastic to listen in on this and, get a little peek behind the curtain as it is. And to everyone else who's watching, as we say every week, and Bill said it best, do it yourself. You know, find that one thing that's really irritating you, or if you've found something that you think is really cool, but it's way too out of reach financially, do it yourself.
Yes.
Cut it up, paint it up, make it your own, man. You just mod that stuff. And come on over to themodzoo.com and show us. We've got active forums where you can post your work logs. We also have, instead of just computers, we do have non-computer related modding stuff for builds, dealing with 3D printing, or if you're repairing a remote control, whatever you want to do, we've got a space that you can show off.
Anything that helps anybody do something productive.
Yeah.
You know.
And guides. If you want to put together a guide for a specific painting style, or you've done a mod to a Phanteks case and you want to, take somebody step by step through, write up that guide for us. We love to see that too. Anything that you guys can come up with, we want to share that information, and that's exactly why we're here. Coming up in the next few weeks, we do have a couple of really cool guests potentially lined up, and we've got a good rotation of other ideas that we're constantly, we have boiling in the background as well. So if you do have any other ideas or suggestions for people you want to have us get on the air and discuss the hobby with, go over to the Modzoo again and drop that in there too. We also have our Facebook page and our Twitter feed. Those are good spots to leave those kinds of questions as well. So as Bill said, share the link, share the videos, spread the word, share the love, and just get out there and go mod something. Would you guys have a good week?